The Honourable House Leader for the Official Opposition.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much. Common sense Conservatives are focused on axing the tax, building the homes, fixing the budget, and stopping the crime. Well, this Liberal Prime Minister proves day in and day out that he's not worth the cost or the corruption. And what we're seeing today is a perfect example of how the government is focused on the wrong things. Well, Conservatives are putting forward tangible and practical measures that will lower costs, bring interest rates down, get homes built around the country, put dangerous criminals behind bars. This Liberal government is focused on the standing orders of the House of Commons. While Canadians are going to food banks in record numbers, while people who have moved away from home, gotten jobs, find themselves renewing their mortgages, and then are being forced to move back in with their parents, while communities once safe and secure, where people would go to bed at night without locking their doors, are now investing in security cameras and other measures because their neighborhoods have gotten so dangerous. While all of this is going on in Canada, while this Prime Minister continues to break so many aspects of Canadian society, the Liberals come in with a programming motion, with using a valuable day of House time debating on how bills are going to be debated and how many hours this House will sit. While Conservatives will continue to raise the important issues that Canadians are facing, while Liberals want to debate and delay and have a day or two long debate arguing about how the process should be handled in the House of Commons. We're not going to let them off the hook, Mr. Speaker. Let's go through these points one by one. The government is saying that they have to do this to get their agenda through. We, in the official opposition, would happily help advance an agenda that actually accomplished these priority items. If they were to bring in a bill to cancel the carbon tax, or at least cancel the increase that they have scheduled for April 1st, we would support that. If they brought in tangible measures that would actually get homes built, we would support that. We found out just a couple of weeks ago, Mr. Speaker, that the housing minister, the current housing minister, who launched a brutal and devastating personal attack on the previous immigration minister. By the way, those are the same people. The former immigration minister is now the current housing minister. The current housing minister attacked the former immigration minister himself, blaming himself for so mismanaging the immigration system in this country that it's caused terrible consequences on the housing side of things, as this country now, after 8 years of this Prime Minister, builds fewer homes than new Canadians are added every year. He actually admitted that all their billions of dollars and their fancy photo ops and their repackaged announcement don't actually build specific homes. He admitted that at a committee. We asked him how many homes his vaunted and much celebrated in Liberal circles Housing Accelerator Fund. Boy, that sounds active, doesn't it? That's one of those buzzwords. I wonder how many consultants they had to hire to come up with a name like that. That the Housing Accelerator Fund. We wanted to know. Okay, well, that sounds exciting. It sounds like that's going to really pick up the pace of home building in this country. So, simple question: how many homes is this Housing Accelerator actually built? And he said it doesn't actually build any homes. Well, you'll pardon the official opposition, Mr. Speaker, if we come to this place to defend taxpayers' dollars, if we oppose billions of dollars of spending that doesn't actually build new homes. We could have easily gotten those types of things passed. But instead what the government is doing is doubling down on their failed agenda and using the coalition that they have with the NDP to ram their more of the same agenda, the very same policies, the very same ideology that caused the cost of living crisis. It's caused the inflation. It's caused the massive interest rate hikes. That's caused the crime wave that's plaguing our cities. And that has caused the housing shortage that has driven the dream of home ownership out of the reach of so many Canadians. They want to double and triple and quadruple down on that and ram their agenda through. So while Canadians are going through this cost of living crisis, as they have to pay more and more because of this Liberal Prime Minister, he's decided to put everything on pause and use this valuable House time to effectively make changes to the standing orders. Like, if you went door knocking in your constituency, how many, if you hit 100 doors this evening, how many Canadians do you think would say, I'm really concerned about how the House of Commons manages its time? Please go back to Ottawa and sort that out. They are wasting the valuable time of this House and of members of Parliament because they can't admit their failures. They can't put their ego aside. This Liberal Prime Minister cannot put his ego aside and admit that he's the reason that so many Canadians are suffering right now. That being said, Mr. Speaker, we're going to continue to oppose their agenda because it's failed. Their economic agenda continues to drive up inflation and interest rates. Their housing agenda continues to drive up home prices by rewarding local gatekeepers and preventing new homes from entering the market. And their crime and justice agenda continues to let dangerous and repeat offenders back out onto the streets where they terrorize law-abiding Canadians. For those reasons, we're going to oppose this motion, and we're going to oppose the rest of the government's agenda. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.